Greetings, my scattered brothers and sisters in the Lord. Trust you know the Lord is with you wherever you find yourself scattered today, and that you know that His presence with you is more than enough for whatever you might face today. Well, I wanted to take one more day and share a lesson on the lemon tree, or from the lemon tree, before going back to the Gospel of Mark. And this one, I don't know if you can see from this angle, but my lemon tree grows to the west. And so let me go ahead and see if I can help you to see that a little bit better. So here we are, kind of backing up a little bit, and you can see that on the west side, the lemon tree is quite heavy with branches and lemons, and then over more on the east side, it's quite a bit thinner. And my tree just keeps on growing out to the west. And it doesn't just grow balanced, it grows westward. And you might be thinking, well, why is that? Why is the tree lopsided? Well, it's lopsided because it's searching for sunlight. And if I turn back around here, you can see my neighbor's house, but even more than my neighbor's house is my huge pepper tree. And I cut it back every few years, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And so it creates this shade over my lemon tree. And so my lemon tree is trying to get out from the shade of the pepper tree. And so it keeps on growing out to the west. And that is pretty interesting to think about. And so what's going on with that? Well, I think what's happening is that it is searching for sunlight. That my lemon tree knows that it needs the sun in order to grow, in order to bear fruit, produce lemons. And so it is searching for that sunlight, and that means growing west. That means becoming lopsided. And so I think about that in terms of us, that we need sunlight. Well, we need God's light. And we grow, we look for, we're searching, whether we realize it or not, just like my lemon tree, whether it realizes or not, it is searching for sunlight. We're searching for God's light. We're searching for God's love and God's truth. And so we can kind of keep growing, and we can become pretty distorted. We can become pretty imbalanced when there's something in our lives that's blocking us from getting God's light, God's love, God's truth. You can think about the person that is seeking attention and they can't get any positive attention, and so they find out what they can do. They do negative things to get attention. And so searching for attention, any kind of attention, end up doing bad things because that will get them attention. You can think about how we are searching for love, and maybe we're not finding love, and then we end up engaging in behaviors that end up with kind of a distorted love, looking for love in all the wrong places. And so it just makes me kind of pause and realize, okay, are there things in my life that might be blocking me from actually receiving, God's love, God's truth, God's light? And what are those pepper trees that I need to trim back, that I need to remove, so that I can actually grow healthy? And then we might even think about it in terms of others, that maybe part of our work is to help people receive God's love, help people be able to walk in God's light, help people to know God's truth, so that they can grow well, they can grow healthy rather than distorted or lopsided. So just been thinking about that, lots to contemplate with the lemon tree, but how my lemon tree is searching for sunlight, and that search will lead it to an even kind of distorted growth if it's not able to receive the sunlight. And how often our lives are like that as well. We end up out of balance, searching for God's truth, God's love, God's light, and it's all to be received in Jesus and to be received through God's people. And so we'll get back to the Gospel of Mark, believing that the Gospel of Mark, through Mark's testimony, God's light, God's love, God's truth will shine through on our lives so that we can grow well. God bless. Have a great day. and walk in the light that God provides us in His Son Jesus.